Welcome back to the ARCS2020 Ambulatory Blood Pressure Monitoring Software Review. In this fourth and final video, we will review the conclusion and the report section or icons. In the first one, we're in the conclusion section now. On this page, you'll see a summary of all the readings that you previously examined and saw. And this particular page with the summary at the top, it's divided into day, night, and an average all day. It will list systole, diastole, mean arterial pressure, pulse rate, and it shows you average, max, the time, minimum, things of that nature, and also the blood pressure load. And all of this will be included in the reports, which we'll see in the next icon. In the bottom is a section, the conclusion area, where you can freehand type in any information that you wish to provide as part of this, whether it's the technician, the QA tech, or the physician. You can freely enter what you wish. Here's one of those pull-down menus I mentioned to you earlier. If you would have had names in there, you could have pulled down and selected the physician or the QA tech, whoever might have either diagnosed or reviewed this particular study. Next, I'd like to draw your attention to a very nice feature of ARCS. It's called the Auto Conclusion Library. In this area, you can create different books, if you will, or summaries of information, whether it's the information about the statistical data at the top, what you want included as part of your reading on the left, the conclusion summary on the left, or you freehand can put in text that you might include in every report. You may have certain sentences that you'd like to use as part of your report, and then maybe have a blank and you can fill in something for this particular patient, but it eliminates the need to type the same thing over and over day after day. It's very simple to use to create a new book, if you will. Just come over here on the right-hand side, click Add. You can name it whatever you want. For simplicity, I'm just going to call it ABP. And from there, you can select what of the parameters. Now, this shows ECG and, this just shows ABP. So you can select what you would like in your report, and just go ahead and say OK, and it will show them on the right side. So you have each of those parameters that you selected, but they're all zeroed out, and they will fill in when we move them to the right side, and I'll show you how you do that. At the same time, I'd like to show you that you can freehand type in anything you want, leave a space for filling in, and it will keep that. That will now be permanent in this particular book, if you will, until you come back and delete it. So if we want to use this and save it, we'll just click on Save. And if we want that to transpose to the left side for the conclusion, you just double click on it. The parameters that you chose to be included in the report for this book are pulled from the top and inserted in the zero spots that you saw on the right. And then the freehand text that you had entered on the right side will automatically be moved over there. So that's the conclusion section. In the report section, the reports page has both ECG at the top, and we're going to focus on the ambulatory blood pressure reports. You can choose or not choose whatever you want included in the report. To see what each one of these reports look like, for example, I'll just click on the APP summary, and that shows you what the APP summary report looks like. So you can go through each one of those and just to get an idea what they look like and decide if you want them included or not. You notice also at the up the top, there's the ability to print, to save as a file somewhere on your disk. It opens a Windows window and you can save it wherever you wish. And then you could email it if you want, or maybe you want to just save it as a file and save it as a secure email later, but those functions are there. If you want to review the entire report, simply go to Preview in the upper right-hand section, and it will pull up the whole report for which you have check marks selected. In this case, it's 8 pages if you look at the upper right, and you can click 1 through 8 and you can see everything that was included in the report, including the files from the list at the beginning for which you wanted those to be included. And those specific ones are right here on page number 4 that I had selected to print. So same kind of thing, you can print this out, you can save it as or email it. So we'll click out of here. It asks you if you want to save as the final report. You can say yes or no. I would also offer that you can go back to the conclusion page from right here just by clicking on conclusion, and it takes you back there. If you want to make some additional comments, you can do that. Then you close out of that and you're right back to conclusion. I'd like to point out the publish button. The publish button allows you to create this report and save it someplace that you designate in the software. And that would be maybe a file folder on your desktop where you can periodically, or somebody could periodically, go back and look at each one of those reports that you created without having to get back into the software to do it. To click out of here, just X out. At this point, that concludes both the conclusion and the report section of this ARCS 2020 Ambulatory Blood Pressure Monitor video education session. Thank you for your attention.